But when it comes to interviewing folks, what was the interview that you felt like you learned the most in, where you was like, okay, when I talk to this person, I'm about to get some information for my damn self, damn the audience. Oh yeah.
I'm trying to think. I'm always thinking about the audience though, right? So a lot of times
you are the audience.
Yeah. I think believe it or not, my Mariah Carey interview. I did a Mariah Carey interview maybe 2019.
Okay.
For Genius. And like that was for me. We did it live in front of an audience. That was the first time my mother ever seen me interview somebody. Like my mom came out, my dad came out, my wife was there, but because it's like, dog, this Mariah Carey.
Come
like,
on
we
now.
grew up listening to Mariah.
I'm with you.
In my house. So yeah, like just kind of connecting with her and figuring out her process as a songwriter. The whole interview was about her as a songwriter.
Yeah.
If you listen to Mariah, she has a vocabulary that's unmatched. She'll say the emancipation of Mimi. like she'll use like crazy like words and shit. So I just wanted to get into like her head as a songwriter. So that was probably the most maybe selfish interview for me, but that was dope.
So then with that being said, has there ever been an interview that you had to get up for? Because when I say get up, you were nervous as hell before, and you were like, you know what, I better not drop the ball on this shit.
Trying to think, nervous?
And not nervous, but maybe excited. Excited. That'll be a better description.
Probably Jay-Z.
Okay.
Probably Hove, and I still I've interviewed Hove a bunch of times on MTV, red carpet style or press junket style. I'm behind the camera, so there's a lot of Jay-Z interview clips that are floating out there with the MTV thing that people don't even know that's me on the other side.
Come on now. Their marketing plan was me to continue.
Jay, for sure. But more recently, I had interviewed Jay a couple of times on Twitter Spaces. One time was with Alicia Keys when she dropped her last album, and I was cool with just interviewing Alicia Keys, and she called me the night before. She said, Hov gonna jump on, so you might want to ask some questions for him too. I was like, what? So I had a night to prepare. And then after Khaled dropped his last album, Lenny S had hit me. I shout out to Lenny S, shout out to Rock Nation, shout out to Khaled. The God Did album, Lenny S had hit me and was like, yo, Khaled's doing the Twitter Spaces. Can you help us moderate?
Yeah.
And I freestyled this. I didn't have nothing prepared. I was actually in a Zoom meeting when he hit me, and I was maybe like 5 minutes late to the Twitter Spaces. But I jumped on the Twitter Spaces. So me and Khaled just talking, our talk, and it's very comfortable. And then nobody told me, unbeknownst to me, Hove comes in the room. And this is right after this guy did. This is the verse. This is the long verse that he did at the Grammys,
went crazy.
Where he went nuts. And we did an interview, and that went viral too. But that was a freestyle. I didn't know Hove was there, so every question that I asked him in that interview was off the top of the dome. I ain't have preparation for it. And then I'm trying to, at the time, because it's Khaled's album, I ain't wanted to be disrespectful to Khaled and turn it to just a Jay-Z interview. So I'm trying to juggle it. Yeah. And I know a couple of people was mad, like, why you, like, talk to Hove. Even Khaled's hitting me. He was like, nah, this a Hove interview now. I was just like, man, I'm trying to be respectful. But that conversation with Hove was so dope, man, and I appreciate being able to him like opening up. I never, there's a lot of artists sometimes, and I don't really play this game. I know you must get it. And I don't know, everybody has to handle it, but artists will come in and they'll give you a list of questions
that you can't ask. Oh, nigga.
I'm like, once we get to that point, I'm like, hey, let's not just do the interview. And it'd be artists that just start like, bro, you just came in the game 5 minutes ago.
Oh,
so I say all that to say, I've never been in a space where Jay or anybody from his team was like, yo, don't ask him that. Yo, don't do this. Don't do that. Like, the dude is so confident in who he is, man. And every time I've had a conversation with Hove, it's been like super dope. I look forward to the day maybe when we could do it more structured and organized, and maybe I have time because I have so many questions.
Exactly.
But that was probably the one that I'm like, oh shit, because it happened in an instant. They was like, oh, Hove's in the room. And actually in that, LL jumped in the room too, not to be, so it was LL first, so I'm coming off of, oh shit, here's LL, I gotta figure out what to ask L. And then Hove jumps in right after, I'm like, oh, so I'm freestyling the whole interview. I actually put like some of it up on my YouTube, so if you listen back to it, that's all freestyle, bro. That's like,
Okay, when you think about talking to Jay-Z, though, at the same time, you know, I don't know if it gets any bigger than Jay-Z in hip-hop.
Right.
So when you're having a conversation with somebody that's at the very top, how do you prepare for those high-level conversations, sir?
I'll tell you when I get there, because they don't give me no prep time. It just happens. But nah, you know, look, nah, I think you prepare for it. Again, it comes from the passion. It comes from being a fan. It comes from asking the stuff that people want to know. It comes from Jay-Z has also done 1 million interviews.
Yeah.
Like when I really get my shot to do the sit down, I'm going to attack it in a way that nobody else had. We're going to have a conversation that you've never seen him have.
Exactly.
That's how I approach my Mariah Carey interview. Mariah has done 1,000 interviews. She told me, she was there like in front of the crowd, in front of the camera, like you look like Mariah said, yo, it's one of the best interviews I ever had in my life.
Come on now.
Wow. Like, because I'm not looking for a head, like what's the conversation we're gonna have that's pertinent to this moment in time to make this shit really, really special.
What was your favorite conversation? Because I'm not going to call them an interview.
Yeah.
Okay, what was your favorite conversation that you ever had that was recorded, sir?
Probably in 2015, I sat with Kendrick right off of him doing The Pimp a Butterfly. And, you know, just the layers of that were in that album. The way Kendrick just layers. There was so much I wanted to know and how it connected to his real life. And again, nobody from TDE, nobody from Interscope, Kendrick, nobody said, hey, you can't ask this. Yo, don't ask that. Yo, we went so deep. Like, I don't know. If you go back and watch that interview, it was for MTV. I don't know if people remember when Kendrick dropped Black of the Berry before To Pimp a Butterfly came out.
Yeah.
He caught a lot of criticism. Because of what he was saying about, you know, he says something to the effect of, and I don't want to mess up the line, but almost like how can I be mad at police when I've done harm to people blacker than me?
Come on now.
And I think people, for all of that Kendrick that he's given us, we know his heart, we know his intention, we know in no way in that song was he saying that he is justifying what the police are doing out here. But he's pointing the mirror at himself too, like, yo, I got something I need to change. And if people remember, there was discourse on Twitter for that day, and people were accusing Kendrick of accountability politics and this and that, and he was taking some heat. In that interview, I asked him, and I spoke to him about that, and it was a real conversation, and you could see his face change and his demeanor change, and you could tell the hurt that he had at that, and the frustration, and then for him to, even through all of that controversy, it seems real small now, you know what I'm saying? We're years removed, but through all that controversy, for him to find the answer, for him to have that difficult or tough conversation. Yeah. But it's all under the guise, again, it's not me chasing the headline, it's not me looking for a reaction, it's under the guise of, yo, this is in your music, this is your creativity, the feelings that you pour into your music. Like, I super respect him for having that conversation and being so open and honest and vulnerable. And that's probably my favorite, most powerful conversation I think I've had.